And hello and welcome to Scalino's Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona. So glad you've joined us for this non-league matchup featuring the Inland Valley Buccaneers and the Long Beach Legends. This is the second time these two teams will take the field. The first time the Inland Valley Buccaneers getting the better of the Legends. 3-2 on a walk-off hit by Nathaniel Acosta. It was a very entertaining game, and this as well figures to be a very entertaining game. The Buccaneers in their customary white shirts, which are cut off, black undershirts, white pants, black hats. Meanwhile, the Legends are in red as the first pitch is in there for a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 here. Micah Bayer is the starting pitcher for the Buccaneers. The leadoff hitter for the Legends is Jake Reinhardt. We'll get you the starting lineup and the defensive arrangements very quickly as this pitch misses inside for ball one. 1-1 the count. In the field for the Buccaneers, this is what it looks like. Going left to right across the outfield, it's Chavez, Cortez, and Rabito. Bayer comes set, working out of the stretch. And fires, low and away, ball two. 2-1 the count. Here's the lineup for the Legends. It's Reinhardt at second. Humbert is the catcher batting second. Miladinovich is batting third. Davis, the cleanup hitter. De La Rosa batting fifth. Here comes the pitch. Swan in line to the right side. Nice diving catch by Jack Spahn, and that's the first out here of the inning. So a liner to the first baseman. Great catch by Spahn, who hit a grand slam yesterday against the Pirates. Of course, the Buccaneers beating the Pirates for the first time out of 7 tries, but that one did matter because it was a league contest. To finish off the lineup, batting 6th is Schwartz, batting 7th is Agramonte, batting 8th Hornsby, and last but not least, the shortstop Negretti is the number 9 hitter. We are going to be joined by a couple different Buccaneer players in this broadcast. Both Bryce Brooks and BucsVsLegendsGm2 will join us. Bryce Brooks is standing by, and we'll have him join in just a few moments. First pitch is a breaking ball called strike one to Greg Humbert. The Inland Valley Buccaneers on a strong streak right now. Actually, it looks like we're going to be joined by both of them, so this might be a bit interesting. But anyways, as we're saying, a very good stretch right here, and the Buccaneers have won 3 of their last 4 games, including the win against the Pirates, and a doubleheader sweep against the Rounders, as this one misses low from Micah Bayer. We'll bring you guys in the next half inning, just so you're ready. It's always good to get the perspective of some of the players on the team. This one swung and fouled straight back and out of play behind home plate. Unfortunately, though, we wish the circumstances were a bit different for both of these guys because Lashwile and Bryce Brooks are both sitting out today with injuries. Bryce Brooks banged up his hand yesterday on a pitch that he got hit by, and Mbusi hurt his hamstring. This one swung, and this one is also fouled out of play behind home plate. Micah Bayer is 5'11", 145. Goes to Cal Baptist and also went to Don Lugo High School. Well, we talked about it, but it seems like over the past few games, the Buccaneers have really started seeing the ball a lot better at the plate. Here's the pitch, swung, and it's a little ground ball over to the shortstop, Anthony Seminaris, who fires across the diamond for the second out. So 2 up and 2 down for Micah Bayer here, who at times has been very, very good this season. If you do remember, earlier in the season, he went 4 2/3 against the Pirates. And up until that point, he had only allowed 1 run. And the 1 run came in on a strikeout that they couldn't complete the throw to first base. But then he couldn't get that final out of the inning. A reliever came in, and they gave up a 2-run single. And so then three runs ended up being charged to him. First pitch is swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch by Stefan Miladinovich. Well, this Legends team is actually in the lead of their league, the OCCL. So they have a lot of talent. High fly ball to shallow left field, and making the catch. Oh, wow. He missed it, juggled it, and caught it with his bare hand. Did Anthony Seminaris about 5 feet on the outfield grass in left field. And so 3 up, 3 down here for Micah Bayer in the first inning, and it's scoreless at the end of 1/2 inning. And welcome back as we get ready to go to the bottom of the first inning. We are now joined by Bryce Brooks, the talented infielder for the Inland Valley Buccaneers, of course also playing for the Pirates last season. And this is actually the second time you've been on the mic here.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to be back here.
So it's very exciting to get some insight from a player, and a very good player at that, of course. Bryce Brooks from Rio Hondo, and then is headed out to the Midwest to Avila University. And we actually talked earlier in the season about kind of you going to Avila and just kind of talk about the program and why you enjoy going there.
Well, in fact, I might be going to Cal State Fullerton next fall. I got an opportunity to come out and get a spot. So I'm looking at that right now. I haven't fully signed to Avila yet. So we're looking by this next week to see what Fullerton has to offer.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
A nice Big West program. First pitch is called to strike on the outside corner to Miles Ryan. 0-1 the count. Starting pitcher is George Alamilo for the Long Beach Legends. So how did that all come about?
Before last week, I got a call from my dad saying Coach Vanderhook wanted me to come in for a meeting.
Line drive swung and into left field, and Miles Ryan, the first hitter of the game, has a base hit to left field. He is 298 on the season, so he's going to go up to 300 after that hit right there. But proceed with your story.
After the meeting, came in after that Thursday game. Friday morning, went into a meeting with Vanderhook, and he said, basically, I have a spot on the team. I'm going to get every chance to come out and start at third base, show what I have during the fall, and we'll see where that goes from there.
Obviously, a very, very talented glove. Bryce Brooks, a Gold Glove in the junior collegiate ranks this past season at Rio Hondo. First pitch is a breaking ball in the dirt for ball one to Luke Asperger. Let's give you the starting lineup really quickly for the Buccaneers. Miles Ryan was the leadoff hitter and singled in the left field. Asperger batting second at second. Kevin Riley is the extra hitter batting third. And he is actually the SCCBL hitter of the week. And a very good week for the Buccaneers, beating the Pirates for the first time, getting the hitter of the week in Riley and the pitcher of the week in Chris Sanchez. Batting in the cleanup spot is the designated hitter Johnny Juarez, who's been very, very strong with the bat lately. Jack Spawn, the number 5 hitter, as this one misses low for a ball. Jack Spawn taking one out of the left field wall yesterday, grand slam. So that was obviously the big noisemaker in a very, very good game for the Buccaneers. 11 runs scored for you guys.
Yeah, it's about time we came out swinging.
Squaring around and bunting is Asperger, but he fouls it into the on-deck circle and Kevin Riley. Let's finish out the lineup. It's Anthony Rabito in right field batting 6th. Chavez in left field batting 7th. Ramirez at third batting 8th. Seminaris at short batting 9th. And last but not least is Cortez batting 10th. Of course, the Buccaneers will send 10 out in a non-league game to get, an extra guy some at-bats. This one is bunted and fouled down the first base line. So trying to sacrifice over the runner, but to no avail here for Luke Asperger. And that was how you kind of got hurt yesterday, actually. How's your hand doing, by the way? You were trying to bunt, and you kind of took one on the hand?
Yeah, I was scoring around for my bunt, and I saw the pitch come up and in, and it was late to react. And as I was spinning out of the way, the ball had hit my index finger on my right hand. And it's doing good now. Hopefully I'll be back by the end of this week.
This pitch is swung and fouled back at the screen by Asperger. Well, absolutely. Hopefully you come back. It does happen to be a good time, I guess, to get injured because you have 5 days off before Sunday in a game against AOS Baseball, which will be live on our air. And then a couple big ones back in Palm Springs next Tuesday and Wednesday. The runner's off with the pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. That's strike 3. And sliding head first and tagged out is Miles Ryan. So he is caught stealing there. It looked like he slid very early, but it also looked like he still might have beaten the throw out. But it doesn't matter what I think. All that matters is the guy in the blue, what he thinks. So a strike him out, throw him out right there for the Legends. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning with Kevin Riley at the plate. Kevin Riley, as we mentioned, was the co-hitter of the week this week in the SCCBL. And he takes one off the left shoulder immediately, and down to first he goes. Put up pretty good numbers last week, 12 for 23. 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. And they wanted to fight me. They wanted to fight me and say he wasn't the hitter of the week, so they made him the co-hitter of the week, but I would not allow it to not happen, that he wouldn't at least be the co-hitter of the week, because he has just absolutely been raking as number 15. First pitch is a fastball called a strike to Johnny Juarez, the designated hitter today, so it's 0-1 to him. Riley takes his lead off first base, a standard lead. Alamil checking the runner. And now comes set, working out of the stretch, throws it to first, not in time. What do you think about Kevin Riley?
Oh, the kid's got great hands, great bat speed. We got to face him this year during our season, and we couldn't get him out.
He's off with the pitch, off-speed pitch called strike, and the catcher won't be able to handle it. So in the second base with a stolen bag is Kevin Riley. So now he's showing off some Jets here.
Yeah.
We were talking about the bat, and now the Jets. Are there any players here that you take stuff from, that you learn stuff from, like some of your teammates even? I don't know if you do or don't, but fastball high.
I talk a lot to Jack about like what we see, especially Riley. I talk to him. Usually hitting behind him, I see what they start you off with. They usually will say curveball or fastball. I'll go with that approach, thinking they're going to start me off with this pitch. Or we have a relationship between him at second when I'm hitting. We'll talk to each other about what we're seeing.
Here's the pitch for Alamillo. Big off-speed pitch taken for a ball by Juarez low. On deck is Jack Spahn, the talented right-handed hitter from Point Loma Nazarene, around the San Diego area. Alamillo checks the runner at second and now fires home. A fastball bounced to the right side, and that should be a 3 unassisted putout, and that is. So De La Rosa catches the ball and steps on the bag, and that'll do it for the first inning. And at the end of one full inning, it remains a scoreless tie from Cal Poly Pomona between the Buccaneers and Legends. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the second inning. No score yet between the Legends and Buccaneers. Buccaneers having a strong last 4 games, 3-1, winning a doubleheader against the Rounders and beating the Pirates. In the middle of that, they lost to Top Speed, a very good team. First pitch from Byers, swung on and missed. Strike one here to Justin Davis. Nobody has reached base yet so far for the Legends, but Byer did retire the first 3 hitters he saw. He now comes set, working out of the stretch, fires, fastball high and away, and it's 1-1. Micah Byer is a guy who goes out of the stretch even with the runners not on base, so I think that's obviously a sign that he's usually a reliever, even though he gets the start here today, or maybe that's just what he feels comfortable with. It's a nasty off-speed pitch, but it bounces in the dirt a couple feet in front of home plate. So that'll be a ball for Byer, and it's 2-1. You and Byer were the 2 Pirates last year who were actually on the Buccaneers this year. This one is bounced up the middle over to Anthony Seminars. He makes a nice grab behind the second base and fires to first, and Jack Spahn makes the backhanded grab to complete that out. So 4 up and 4 down here for Micah Byer. You play shortstop as well. You obviously play third base and shortstop, and actually we've seen you in right field and first base. But what's going through your head right now in a play like that, where it's kind of hit up the middle and you can kind of get to it, but you have to fire really hard over to first base.
I mean, your instinct is to come get it, come charge it hard, but you gotta get rid of it. You have to throw the ball hard at first. You can't lob it over there. You're gonna be all off balance as you let go of the ball like that. How he was right there, he lobbed it. If he would have thrown it with more of a strength on it, it would have been way easier of a play for him.
First pitch is an off-speed pitch that misses low for ball 1. Second pitch, called a strike on the outside corner to Manny De La Rosa, the large first baseman. Kind of looks like he could be a middle linebacker almost in football. Looks like he might have a lot of pop behind the back. Fastball inside, called a strike, and it's 1-2. So Byer being very efficient so far here in the early going, retiring all 4 hitters he's seen, and looking to retire yet another one on a 2-strike count right here. He comes set, fires, swung and fouled out of play to the third base side. So we'll do it again, another 1-2 pitch to come between Byer and Manny De La Rosa. After De La Rosa, it's Schwartz and Agramonte for the Legends. Here's the pitch. High and away for a ball. It's interesting because Micah Byer over the past 2 or 3 times he's been out here has actually pitched really well. And that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is every once in a while he does seem to let the ball get away from him a bit. But then he comes back and normally gets the hitter out. But this one misses high and in for ball 3, so it's a full count. Of course, this is the second time these two teams have met. This one is in the dirt, though, and that's ball 4. So De La Rosa reaches base, and that'll be the first base runner of the game for the Legends. This, we mentioned, the second time these two teams have played. And we mentioned the first time it was pretty thrilling. A walk-off victory with Nathaniel Acosta coming through in the clutch. Actually, it was a pinch hit at bat as well. And he had the RBI game-winning hit against these Legends. Actually, the Bucs were winning most of that game 2-0. Then an error, I believe, in the 7th or 8th. Tied it up at 2 apiece. First pitch is swung on by Baron Schwartz, and it's 0-1. He was really messed up on that last pitch. Maybe he was expecting fastball, and he was well out in front of the off-speed pitch. Byer fires fastball on the outside and just outside, and it's 1-1. Who's impressed you this season for the Buccaneers, if anybody? Has anybody kind of stuck out in your mind as, and it doesn't maybe have to be overall, just maybe one specific thing, like maybe somebody's arm or somebody's...
The high school kids that are on his team from Diamond Bar, both of them, Chris and Junior, at third, Junior especially, yesterday shooting at throwing great game against the Pirates. He was scared against, I remember one game we played at the Power, and he was just nervous out there. And I told him, just relax, man. You just got to relax and just throw it. You know, they're bigger. They're D1 guys, most of them. You're competing with them. Keep competing. And look, yesterday he competed for 6 innings and gave us the win.
Anytime you can only allow 2 runs in 6 innings against the Pirates is a good start, obviously. And Gerardo Ramirez has been a very good pitcher, as has Chris Sanchez, who, believe it or not, was given the Pitcher of the Week nod over Andrew Alvarez from the Pirates. So that was who the final 2 guys were down to. And everybody picked Chris Sanchez, who had 10 in the 3rd innings pitched, 1 earned run, 12 strikeouts last week. Fastball misses outside for a ball here from Byer, as Baron Schwartz remains at the plate, the right fielder for the Legends. Here's the pitch. And it's another off-speed pitch that misses inside for ball 4. So 2 consecutive walks here for Micah Byer, as Michael Agramonte now comes to the plate with 2 men on base and 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning. So we talked about it. It was the first 4 hitters he saw here today. Micah Byer retired, and then the next 2 he walks. And the first of those 2 he was up 1-2 on, and threw 3 consecutive balls. And now here he walks to number 9, Baron Schwartz, and is in a little bit of a jam in the top of the 2nd inning. Fastball in there for strike 1, and it's 0-1. Another, of course, warm day in Pomona. Another day with not too much of a breeze. If you look at the trees out there in the outfield, very stiff, kind of still. This one is bounced over towards Seminaris. He's going to flip it to Asperger. Asperger to first, not in time. So they get the force out at 2nd, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. But beating it out at first base was Michael Agramonte, who runs it out for that fielder's choice. Advancing 90 feet in the third base was De La Rosa. Would have been a hard play to make right there to turn 2, but it looked like it took a little bit of time to get out of the glove for Seminaris and flip it over to Asperger. Here's the pitch. In there for called strike 1, so it's 0-1 here to Joshua Hornsby. Do you enjoy playing third the most, or what position do you like playing the most?
I really enjoy playing shortstop. A lot of coaches say I'm not a shortstop because I'm too slow. No, but I like to prove them wrong. But I'll play third. I mean, I love playing the infield. Third's where I played all of junior college and my senior year in high school, so I feel a lot comfortable there. But if I got to pick, I'd probably play shortstop.
Here's the pitch, and it's just low, or maybe a bit outside. but it was very close, and it's now 2-1 here for Beyer. What do you think about Beyer's pitches and his kind of repertoire?
Oh, I mean,
swung on and missed, and that is strike 3, and down goes the side as Beyer gets his first strikeout of the game right there.
I believe he's a great pitcher, especially for not pitching during college. He just goes to school at Cal Baptist, so he just comes out here every summer, pitches, and he has phenomenal stuff.
And he has not allowed a run yet so far in 2 innings, and we'll head to the bottom of the second in a scoreless tie between the Legends and Buccaneers when we come back. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the second inning, and here is a guy who hit the ball a long way yesterday. This is Jack Spahn. Hit a grand slam out of left field. It was the 3rd home run we've seen now. We've seen 3 home runs hit here in the last couple of weeks before not seeing any in the first couple weeks. The first pitch he sees is swung. It's a far fly ball out in the center field. The center fielder Milutinovic has it under control and makes the catch for the first out here in the second inning. So 1 pitch and 1 out here for the Buccaneers. What's kind of turned it around over the past few games for you guys? Obviously, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I don't think you heard because I don't think you were here yet, but it seems like you're just seeing the ball much better as a team collectively.
Coach brought us up after one day and kind of got in our faces about how we need to start taking this serious. One day after one of the games, he said, I would like to finish with 10 wins, and that was with 2 wins, and now we have 6, I believe. 6 wins. We needed 4 more, and he wanted to finish the season at 10 and whatever losses. So we have the itch to get to that 10th win, and I feel like we're playing really good baseball right now, and hopefully we get 4 more.
So 0-2 here to Anthony Rabito, and yes, you are 6-15 currently, hoping to maybe notch the 7th victory tally here today. Called strike 3 there for Rabito. And that was a tough pitch to take. You really have to protect the plate with 2 strikes on that one. And so down he goes. That is the second out of the inning. And up comes Richie Chavez, the left fielder for the Buccaneers. Richie Chavez, 5'10", 165. Will be a sophomore at Citrus College next season. A lot of Citrus College Owls on both these teams. First pitch to him is called to strike, and it's 0-1. Either current Citrus College Owls or former players for Citrus College. His hometown is Chino Hills and went to Iola High School. Swings and misses at this off-speed pitch way out in front of it and off kind of his front foot there on the swing. Iola High School is another high school that a lot of these players on the Buccaneers have in common. I believe 5 different players on the Bucs played for Iola. Swung on and missed, and that is strike 3. Down goes Chavez. So that was a very, very quick inning right there for the Buccaneers as they are retired in order. And at the end of 2, it remains a scoreless tie between the Bucs and Legends. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. And the score is 0-0 between the Buccaneers and Legends. I am now joined by Mbusi Hlaswayo, talented outfielder, of course, for the Buccaneers. First pitch from Beyer in there for called strike 1. It was a fastball, and it's 0-1 here to the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Tanner Negretti. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch just misses low for ball 1, 1-1 the count. Well, Mbusi, you kind of hurt your hamstring, so first of all, how's that feeling?
It's feeling a little better. It's still a little tight, though. I mean, I was still recovering from the pull in Palm Springs that I hurt my hamstring. Hoping to come out next week healthy, play a few games.
Beyer comes set in the stretch, fires. Fastball high and away, so that is a walk right there. That is the 3rd walk of the game that Beyer has given, but still no hits allowed in this 3rd inning for the Buccaneers. And up comes the leadoff hitter, Jake Reinhardt. He is 0 for 1, lined out to the first baseman on a very nice play made by Jack Spahn. Kind of a lunging, leaping grab down that first base line. Here's the, oh, it's not going to be a pitch. It's going to be a pickoff attempt over to first base, just trying to keep Negretti on his toes. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Miles Ryan to stop that one. And then he makes a snap throw down to first, but not in time. It was very close, though. And obviously a good job of Miles Ryan to stop that ball to make sure that the runner didn't get in the scoring position, as now we'll have Kevin Smith, the pitching coach for the Buccaneers, come out for a little mound visit with Micah Byer. Maybe just trying to settle him down a little bit. As we mentioned, he has walked 3 guys and now falls behind 1-0 here to the leadoff hitter, Jake Reinhardt. Bunt laid down over towards Micah Byer. Backhands it, loses it temporarily, but fires to first and makes the play. So the sacrifice does work out there for the Legends as the runner now advances 90 feet in the scoring position at second base. Why do you like it over there in San Bernardino?
Our coaches run a very good program. I've learned a lot this last year. As I took a redshirt year, I didn't play much, so I got to sit out and just learn more about the game of baseball, see a lot from a coach's view, talk to them a lot.
Here's the pitch from Byer, and it's in there for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Greg Humbert, the catcher. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop, Seminaris, in his first at-bat. So 1 down, top of the 3rd inning, no score yet between the Legends and Bucks. This is a breaking pitch that gets down in the ground. Ryan has picked him off second base. What a throw right there. And down goes the second out here in the inning after Tanner Negretti is picked off. Well, that's something that we've seen a lot of from the Pirates this season. A lot of their catchers throwing out people, and the Buccaneers over the last few games have been able to do that as well. This one swung on a line drive into deep right field. Anthony Rubito closing in on it and makes the grab for the final out of the inning. So Micah Byer gives up 1 walk and then gets a couple outs here to finish the inning. And at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it remains a scoreless tie between the Buccaneers and Legends. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still no score between the Legends and Buccaneers as Gerardo Ramirez comes to the plate for his first at-bat. Ramirez kind of one of the heroes yesterday. Obviously, a lot of heroes when you score 11 runs against the Pirates, but Ramirez was the one who started the game and went 6 innings strong for you guys and only gave up 2 runs against that lineup. First pitch by him is swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line. So what do you like about Ramirez, maybe as a pitcher or hitter?
He's definitely very talented. I definitely didn't know he was a high schooler until just about last week. I thought he was probably a freshman or a sophomore in college just by the size and how hard he throws off the mound. But he's very talented. He has a lot of pitches in his repertoire. Throws a lot of strikes, too. That always helps.
Took the last pitch high, and it's 1-1. And here comes the 1-1 offering. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner, called strike 2. And it's 1-2. On deck is Seminaris and then Cortez in the hole. Then back to the top of the lineup for the Buccaneers. Working out of the windup, here is the pitch from Alamilo. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Ramirez. Ramirez, as we mentioned, doing very well in his last pitching performance, but has been struggling a bit with the bat. And here comes Anthony Seminaris, another guy who has been struggling a bit, but he's been hitting it hard. He's just been hitting it at players.
Yeah, we haven't been getting as lucky as other teams we've been playing. He's been hitting balls a lot harder, seeing the ball a lot better too. He's just not having the balls fall in for him.
Late kick, and here's the pitch. Fastball swung on the line straight back up the middle, and this might be another tough play for Seminaris, but he beats this one out for an infield base hit. Immediately off the bat, I thought it was going to get through, but the shortstop showing some great range, Negretti getting to it as the ball was just behind second base and then firing across the diamond, but to no avail as Seminaris does beat this one out for an infield base hit. Seminaris actually had one earlier this week on Saturday that was exactly kind of like that, and it looked like he beat the throw, but he was called out. So I'm sure he's happy that this time he was called safe. Obviously, he was definitely safe on this one. First pitch misses low. Oh, it's called to strike late here to Diego Cortez, and it's 0-1. Cortez 5'10", 180, left-handed hitter from the University of Laverne. One of 3 Laverne players in the Inland Valley Baseball Association. The other 2 are with the Pirates. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there for called strike 2, and it's 0-2. This pitcher, George Alamilo, has been doing exactly what you want if you're the Legends, not really what you want if you're the Buccaneers, and that's pretty much getting ahead of every single batter he sees. Obviously much harder to react to an 0-1, 0-2 count than a 1-0-1 or 2-0 count, and this one is swung and foul back and out of play behind home plate by Cortez. And Boosie, what do you like about being on this team? It seems like a bunch of really fun guys.
Yeah, it's definitely a great time out here over summer getting to play ball with a bunch of great guys. I also learn a lot from a lot of these guys like Diego. He gives me a lot of feedback after my at-bats. If I strike out, he'll ask me what I was looking for in a specific situation, but he's helped me out a lot.
This one misses high for ball 1, and it's 1-2 to Diego Cortez. Are there any guys that you knew before becoming a Buccaneer? Or?
Yeah, actually, I found out about this team from my roommate, Rudy Casares. I played with him. He was my teammate at Cal State San Bernardino, and Salazar, too.
Here's the pitch, breaking ball low, and it's 2-2. So you like to see this from Diego Cortez, that you fall behind 0-2, you foul one off, and then you take a couple balls. Good plate discipline right there. So often we talk about being last in the lineup means you're basically a second leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Swings at this one and fouls it back.
I started off the season leading off a lot. I started off pretty hot, and then I slowed down a little bit, wasn't seeing the ball pretty well, and he moved me down to the 9 spot. Started seeing a little bit more fastballs, and I got my timing down a little better, and it's moved me back up to the top of the lineup, so I'm finally broke out of that slump.
Yeah, and you've been definitely hitting well. And this one is lined up the middle right at the second baseman, and they make the force at second, and they turn the 4-6-3 double play. It was a stealing base attempt right there, and the second baseman was basically running over to second to cover the bag, and it ended up being hit right at him. And so that's why it made that double play, inning-ending double play, much easier for the Legends to finish off this inning. And at the end of 3 full innings of play here, it remains scoreless between the Bucs and Legends. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 4th inning. No score between the Buccaneers and Legends. Bucs coming in, winning 3 of their past 4, hoping to extend that to 4 of their past 5. First pitch in there for called strike 1 from Micah Byer. Up at bat is the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Stefan Miladinovich. He is 0 for 1 and flew out to the shortstop in his previous at-bat. Micah Byer has been pitching very well, high and in there for ball, but also has a few walks sprinkled in with no hits so far for Byer. Still only the 4th inning, though. Here's the pitch. Swung on. It's a towering fly ball to shallow left field. Anthony Seminaris has it under control about 3 or 4 feet back on the outfield grass. And that is the first out here in the top of the 4th inning. Justin Davis, the cleanup batter, is now coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with the ground out to the shortstop, Seminaris. Seminaris has been involved in a lot of plays so far in the first 3 1/3 innings for the Buccaneers. Here's a pitch from Byer. Off-speed pitch just misses inside for ball 1, and it's 1-0. Byer comes set at the waist. Here's the pitch. Fastball high and away, 2-0. What's your favorite pitch to hit? This is a 2-0 count right here. Lots of guys will normally say 2-0, 3-1. Is there a particular pitch that you like hitting?
2-0, I'll usually sit fastball down and in. That's the pitch I'm most comfortable with, is just turning on that fastball right there. Sometimes if the guy's been throwing a lot of off-speed, like a curveball in specific counts, I'll sit on that two-way back on it.
So is the sit dead red on fastball count 2-0 and probably a 3-1 as well. Fastball swung, and this is lined to deep left center field. And charging in and making the catch is the center fielder Cortez for the second out. So a couple fly ball outs here for the Buccaneers in the top of the 4th inning. Still no score as the number 5 hitter in the lineup, Manny De La Rosa, comes to the plate. He walked back in the 2nd inning. He was the first base runner of the game for the Legends, and they got a couple more on walks. But nobody really making that much, solid contact yet. Maybe there's one, as this one misses inside fastball, 1-0 the count. I think there was one kind of line drive out to right field that Anthony Rabito caught, but otherwise it's all been kind of fly balls, ground balls. Pretty good performance so far by Beyer. Another fastball inside, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Like we were saying, it's tough for a pitcher when you get behind 2-0, and it's usually a lot better for the hitter because you can kind of guess fastball here. Called strike on the inside corner, and it's 2-1. Well, this Legends team, they are really good. They're 8-2 in their league in the OCCL, and they're in first right now. So a lot of talent on this team. This one's swung and lined into, oh no, it's a nice catch made by Jack Spawn. Made the backhanded grab, kind of stealing a hit away from Manny De La Rosa. And the Buccaneers continue to keep the Legends off the board after 3.5 innings of play. It's still scoreless here at Cal Poly Pomona. To the bottom of 4 we go. No score between the Bucks and Legends. Up comes the leadoff hitter, Miles Ryan, who singled back in the first inning and was caught stealing. It's funny, you don't see too many catchers leading off in a lineup, but Miles Ryan, he makes a lot of contact with the ball, and that's probably why he is in the leadoff spot over the last maybe week to 10 days here for the Buccaneers. First pitch to him is an off-speed pitch high and inside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Bryce Brooks is now here to give his commentary.
Yeah, this is fun.
Speaking of having fun, it sounds like you're certainly going to have a lot of fun next season at Cal State Fullerton. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch called a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1 here to Miles Ryan. Ryan just hitting over the 300 clip.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Cal State Fullerton, even though I've been there all my life. My uncle played there in 95, 96. Was born in 94, so I guess you could say I've been around Fullerton all my life.
This pitch misses inside. Of course, your uncle is Mark Kotze, who played professionally many years.
Yeah, 17 years.
17 to be exact. So that certainly is many years. What do you remember most about him playing professionally? High and tight for a ball?
Just it's totally, like I see the game totally different now. I mean, it's weird not seeing him on the TV anymore, not being able to go to games. I just remember every time like I would get to talk to him, I'd get to go out, shag BP, meet all the guys that he plays with. It was just an awesome experience being able to do that.
Fastball foul tipped. Obviously, getting a lot of pointers from him as well is probably, I'm sure, has helped your career.
Yeah, a lot.
I know you mentioned, we talked about it in an interview, that he basically helped you at the end of your sophomore year and with hitting.
I was hitting I want to say I was hitting 193 going into season, and he told me to stand up straighter. I'm too wide. The height that I have now is I should be standing up straight. I could reach the outside corner. I don't need to spread out. So standing up straighter is giving me more. I can see the ball a lot better standing straight up. A lot of guys say it's bad. You don't get enough power from standing straight up. You don't get a good load. But I mean, it's all in how you feel at the plate. And if you could get that power with your hips through the zone, it's all up to you how you feel. No coach should be able to say you have to do it this way because not everyone could do it one way.
Fastball misses high and into Miles Ryan, who has now drawn a walk and reaches base for the second time in as many plate appearances. And up comes Luke Asperger in a sacrifice situation, and he brings the bat back as it's called a ball. The pitch missed low. Of course, the first thing to do in a sacrifice scenario is to make sure that you're bunting a strike. You don't want to reach at something out of the zone. Here's the pitch, and he bunts a strike, and will it stay in fair territory? Yes, it does, and he's hustling down the line, and he's just thrown out, as it looked like the pitcher and catcher, they kind of didn't know who wanted to take the ball and field it, and almost allowed an infield single there. But they do make the force out at first, so the sacrifice is executed to perfection by Asperger, and Ryan now in scoring position with only one out here in the fourth inning. That's what you like to see. You want to see manufacturing the running. You certainly want to see a runner on second base with this man at the plate, Kevin Riley. Riley, no official at bat yet because he's hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance, then stole second. Swings the first pitch he sees and bounces it foul down the third base line. So it's 0-1 here to Kevin. 6'1", 185 right-handed hitter from Chaffey College, where he'll be a sophomore next year. Was a first-team All-Foothill Conference selection as a freshman. On deck is Johnny Juarez, who's also been on a recent tear with the bat. Here's the pitch from Alamillo, and it misses in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 the count to Riley. Talked about it, but Riley being the co-hitter of the week, going 12 for 23 this past week, hitting .367 on the season. Alamillo checks the runner at second, nobody holding him on, fires home and misses low and away for ball 2, 2-1 the count. A lot of guys you see wearing batting gloves now. Kevin Riley uses his bare hands. Here's the 2-1 offering. Fastball in at the knees, called strike 2, and it's 2-2. This is just the culmination of a long week for the Buccaneers, playing a lot of games. They played a game last Tuesday, last Thursday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, 1 Monday, and 1 here today on Tuesday. Ground ball to the right side over at the second baseman, ranging to his left, and making the throw is Reinhardt for the second out of the inning. The runner does advance to third base on the ground out, and up comes Johnny Juarez. So I guess if you have to make an out, that's probably one of the best outs you could make in that situation, because you did advance the runner over to third base.
Yeah, very productive out right there.
And here comes Juarez. Juarez in that first game of the doubleheader on Saturday was 2 for 3 with a couple doubles, a couple runs scored, and 1 RBI. Breaking pitch in at the knees, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 to Johnny. Johnny 5'11", 190, right-handed hitter going against the right-handed pitcher, George Alamillo. On deck is Jack Spahn. Here's the pitch. Fastball high and away for a ball to Juarez. Spahn, of course, the on-deck hitter, making a lot of noise with that bat yesterday. Juarez actually had a RBI single in the third inning. Swung on and missed at this one, though. And that was a very big third inning for you guys yesterday. You scored 6 runs in that inning.
Yeah, I felt like that inning put the Pirates away, especially with that grand slam.
Yep. Anytime you can hit a grand slam, it's kind of bad feeling for the other team. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled out of play. And into the adjacent parking lot down that first base line and behind home plate. Of course, to the first base line and behind home plate, we have the parking lot and the dormitories here at Cal Poly Pomona. Alamillo comes set, checks the runner at third, and now fires home. Swung on and fouled. Once again, out of play behind home plate towards the first base side. So Johnny Juarez fouling off a lot of pitches, protecting the plate, and extending the count here. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch called strike 3 at the knees, and down goes Juarez to end the 4th inning. And at the end of 4 full innings of play, still a scoreless game here at Cal Poly Pomona between the Buccaneers and Legends. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Micah Byer remains on the mound for the Buccaneers. Only 3 base runners in this game, all walked against Byer. Here comes the first hitter in this inning. This will be Baron Schwartz, the right fielder. He's one of the 3 guys that walked, so no official at bat yet. First pitch fastball, called a strike, and it's 0-1. Here for Micah. Baron Schwartz is the number 6 hitter in the lineup for the Legends. And another called strike, and it's 0-2. So that's actually something that Beyer hasn't done much of today, which is get ahead of the hitter. And now he can kind of try to come with a purpose pitch and maybe try to catch the hitter fishing at a pitch out of the zone. He comes set, fires, swung on and missed, strike 3. So down goes Schwartz on 3 pitches, and that's the first out here in the 5th inning. Second strikeout of the game for Micah. And the hitter is really fooled by that last pitch, a very slow off-speed pitch, way out in front of it. Here's Michael Agramonte. He is 0 for 1 in this game. Grounded out to the shortstop, Seminaris. Swings and misses at the first pitch, a fastball, high, and it's 0-1. You think Beyer's the type of guy that kind of works backwards, so to speak? Which, I mean, I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but what I mean by that is that he kind of sets up his fastball with off-speed pitches. This one is a ground ball over to Jack Spawn, who flips it to Beyer for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, I feel like he does a lot. I feel like Coach Smith works all of pitchers backwards. I've noticed that with not only Micah, but a couple other types of pitchers. They've thrown a lot of curveballs first pitch, change-ups. Then they'll throw the fastball in an 0-2 count when the hitter's expecting another off-speed.
It's always hard, you know, and that's the name of the game. You kind of want to keep the hitter guessing, and if you can confuse the hitter, obviously that makes you a much better pitcher. First pitch here is high and in for ball 1 to Joshua Hornsby, who is a strikeout victim in his only at bat. So it's 1-0 here to Hornsby. Here's the 1-0 offering, and it's low and away. Ball 2 to another count. Anytime I see a 2-0 count with Beyer on the mound, I have to just think and mention that he's wearing number 20. Here's the pitch from Micah. Fastball swung and fouled out of play down the first base line, and it's 2-1. Micah Beyer, having a really good game, has retired the last 7 hitters he's faced. Here's the pitch. Fastball low and away for ball 3, and it's 3-1. This is a hitter's pitch to come right here for Joshua Hornsby. Here's the pitch from Beyer. Fastball low in the dirt, and that is ball 4. So 5-pitch walk drawn right there, and I guess that's the old announcer's curse. I just mentioned he retired the last 7 hitters he faced, and now he walks the next hitter. And up comes the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Tanner Negretti. Negretti is one of 4 now Legends to reach base on a walk. Beyer checks the runner at first, a very, very small lead off first base for Joshua Hornsby, and now comes home, and it's called to strike, and it's 0-1. In a game like this, something just came to my mind, and I don't know if you remember it, but when Ubaldo Jimenez threw a no-hitter a few years ago, he ended up walking like 9 guys and still got the no-hitter. It's kind of a similar feel to this game, as this one swung on and fouled out of play down the first base line, and it's 0-2. Micah Beyer working over the new baseball, getting it to his liking, and now steps on the mound. Is there any reason why you think he always works out of the stretch?
No, maybe it's how he feels comfortable there.
That's what I would guess. Fastball overthrown in the dirt. Nice block right there by Miles Ryan, who ensured that the runner stayed put at first base and didn't advance into scoring position at second. Still no score here in the top of the 5th inning. Another really good game between the Legends and Bucks. First one ending in a walk-off hit by Nathaniel Acosta. Final score of that game was 3-2. This one's fouled off the end of the bat, right back at us in the announce, kind of where we're announcing. So when are you going to head to Cal State Fullerton?
In the fall.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're going to start there for the school year and runners off with the pitch.
Hopefully.
Breaking pitch. And the throw down at second base. Got him. And that is the second runner that Ryan has thrown out here in the 5 innings that he's played today. And down goes the side again here for the Legends. Still no score. We are halfway through this ball game. Legends and Bucks doing battle 0-0. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning in a scoreless ball game between the Inland Valley Buccaneers and the Long Beach Legends. Up first in the inning is Jack Spahn, who flew out to center field in his previous at-bat. 6'2", 195-pound right-handed hitter from Point Loma Nazarene, where he is a applied health science major. Not the average major that you see for many baseball players and athletes. Swings the first pitch he sees and lines it right at his coach, Kevin Bowler. Kind of had to jump out of the way there.
Watch your lips.
What's that mean?
Watch out. Just
Okay.
get out of the way.
Okay. What do you think of Kevin Bowler, your manager?
He's awesome.
Here's the pitch from Alamilo. Breaking pitch, called a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2 to Jack Spahn. Spahn's hometown is Claremont, went to Damien High School, where he's an all-league selection and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Speaking of his defense, we have seen it on display here today in this game. Fastball outside, ball 1, and it's 1-2. Jack Spahn was a regular for Point Loma Nazarene this past season, playing in 24 games for them. Here's the pitch. Swan and bounced up the middle over towards the shortstop who was charging. That's Negretti, and fires over to first base for the first out of the inning. So 6-3, down goes Jack Spahn, and up comes Anthony Rabito, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And on deck will be Richie Chavez. Anthony Rabito is a guy who has a lot of power, a lot of pop behind his bat.
We call him Josh Hamilton.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, here's Josh Hamilton at the plate. Wearing the same numbers, swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Is that his favorite player?
We believe so. I'm guessing. I mean, same number, kind of the same stance, plays right field.
But a right-handed hitter compared to a lefty.
Opposite side.
Here's the pitch, and called strike 2, and it's 1-2. Also wearing a Colorado Rockies helmet. Any comparison to Matt Holliday with him?
No. I haven't gone that far.
Former Rocky, Matt Holliday. I was just thinking of, here's the pitch. Swung and missed, and down he goes, so that's the second strikeout. For some reason, I just thought he looked like a Matt Holliday in a Rocky helmet right there. I don't know why, but he just kind of looked like that to me. That was the first thing that came into my mind. But down goes Rabito for the second time, and up comes Richie Chavez, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Chavez 5'10", 165. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, called strike 1, and it's 0-1. How do you guys decide who the first base coach is?
Well, it's supposed to be Diaz because we won yesterday 11-3 or 11-2. I have no clue why Trask is out there. That was our deal yesterday after the game, but it's whoever wants to go out.
0-2, and this one is swung on and missed, and down goes Chavez. So Chavez and Rabito both being struck out in their 2 plate appearances. And here comes Micah Byer for his 6th inning of work. We'll come back in the top of the 6th in a scoreless game. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And we will head to the top of the 6th inning in a scoreless game. Buccaneers and Legends doing battle here at Cal Poly Pomona. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play. So glad that you've joined us for this special broadcast. We're being joined by Bryce Brooks as well as Mbusi/Wile. And Wile is now taking over for Bryce Brooks as the first pitch is called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Tanner Negretti, the shortstop. Of course, Negretti was actually at the plate in the last inning, but didn't finish as a bat because Miles Ryan threw out Joshua Hornsby at second base trying to steal. So when swung, a fly ball down the right field line. Charging out there is Jack Spahn and just can't make the play. Hit off the netting in right field. Tried to make a basket sort of catch over there, but just not enough room. Maybe if this was the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, there would have been enough room, but this is just Cal Poly Pomona. Of course, Cal Poly Pomona, a beautiful setting for baseball. Called Scalinos Field after the legendary head coach Frank Scalinos, who won 3 national championships here. This one's fouled straight back at the screen, and it's a 2-strike count now to number 2, Negretti. And Micah Byer has been going about his business here for the first 5 innings. Only allowed 4 runners. All of them were walks. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in the dirt. And a nice job by Ryan, again, blocking it. Negretti actually looked like he was thinking about offering it as the ball bounced about 2 feet in front of home plate, but just held up. That was obviously going to be a purpose pitch to the max by Micah Byer. Byer at the waist, fires, and this one is foul tipped and actually hit off the left foot of Miles Ryan, who's going to walk it off here. And this is kind of like a classy move by the umpire. Walk out the baseball and try to buy the catcher a little bit of time to walk it off. So, Mbusi, what are you seeing so far in this game here today?
It's definitely a pitcher's duel. Both our pitcher, Micah's throwing the ball pretty well right now. The other pitcher's throwing pretty well, too.
Swung on and missed in cue, and down goes Negretti. That is the 3rd strikeout for Micah Byer. Both pitchers have been pretty dominant in this game, as we mentioned. The Legends only getting 4 base runners, all on walks. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers have only had 4 base runners as well, but 2 of those were on hits. Breaking pitch in the dirt for a ball. 1-0 the count to Jake Reinhardt, the leadoff hitter. Reinhardt is 0 for 1, lined out to Jack Spawn on a nice kind of diving grab down the first base line and then sacrifice back in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Bounces this one to the right side over towards the second baseman, and Luke Asperger has it under control and fires to Spawn for the 2nd out here in the 6th inning. So 2 up and 2 down. Mentioned in the last inning that Byer had a streak of 7 in a row retired, and he lost that after walking somebody, but here he comes retiring the first 2 hitters he sees in the 6th inning. So it's been a very, very good start, to say the least, for Micah Byer. Here is Greg Humbert, the catcher. He's 0 for 2, grounded out to the shortstop and flew out to right field. First pitch to him is low and inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. At the number 2 spot in the lineup for the Legends. Fastball high and away, 2-0 to Greg Humbert. So obviously, and Byer has stayed out of trouble, obviously, when we were talking about he's only allowed 4 base runners so far, but you certainly want to retire the number 2 hitter before you get to the heart of the lineup. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung and fouled out of play down the 3rd base line and over the 3rd base dugout. So it's 2-1 here. You guys have been really involved in the game, too. You and Bryce. When you're not calling the games, you're on the foul balls.
Yep, going out there getting the foul balls so our guys don't have to take the long walk.
Fastball on the inside, called a strike. And it's 2-2. A lot of the players always say good.
Oh, yeah, we do that a lot in the dugout, trying to get in the opposing pitcher's head a little bit, get him rattled.
Here's the pitch. Fastball just misses outside. I think everybody in attendance thought that was going to be called strike 3, but it's now a full count here for Micah Byer. Micah Byer has been dealing for the Buccaneers. He comes set at the waist, fires, swung, a towering fly ball to shallow left field. Charging in on it is the left fielder Richie Chavez, who makes the catch. And the side is retired in order here in the 6th inning. And at the end of 6, still no score at Cal Poly Pomona. To the bottom of 6 we go. No score between the Buccaneers and Legends. Dave Sobera on the play-by-play. So glad you've joined us here for this non-league matchup featuring the Legends and, of course, the Buccaneers. First pitch from George Alamino is swung on, and it's a high fly ball to second baseman right behind first base, and makes the catch, does Jack Reinhardt, for the first out of the inning, retiring Gerardo Ramirez on the first pitch he sees. So 1 pitch and 1 out for the Bucs. Sure, not exactly what they wanted right there. Well, both the pitchers, they have been dealing. Micah Byer going 6 strong, 4 walks, no hits. Here's George Alamilo. He also has gone 5 innings so far, 5 1/3 now after that last out, and this one misses high and in for a ball, and it's 1-0. He's only allowed a couple of hits and a couple walks. So it's been a pitcher's duel, to say the least, here at Cal Poly Pomona today. And this one misses outside for ball 2 to Seminars. Seminars 5'10", 175, a redshirt freshman at Fullerton College, hometown Chino Hills, and went to Ayala High School, And this one misses low, and it's 3-0. Seminars kind of getting off the schneid, so to speak, in his first at-bat with a single, an infield single up the middle. On deck is Diego Cortez, the center fielder. Leg kicking, here's the pitch. Fastball right down Broadway, and he was taking all the way with Seminars, and it's 3-1. Does anybody ever get a green light on a 3-0?
Usually not. He'll put down the take sign, but it's finally good to see Anthony get lucky with one of those calls on the first base.
Here's the 3-1, and he swings on this one. It's a high fly ball down the left field line. Will it drop in fair territory? No, it's just foul. And that ball was in the air for a long time. And it's always really hard to see whether or not it's fair or foul because there's no lines on the outfield grass. So when you see that, you just don't know what's going to happen. And this time it's a long strike for Seminars, and it's now a full count. Obviously, Anthony probably might guess again on a fastball here with this full count pitch. Alamilo towing the rubber, nods his head in approval of his catcher's sign, so he likes what he sees, and now he fires. Breaking pitch, though, and it's low for ball 4. And Seminars draws the tough walk right there. And the Bucs have their first man on base here in the 6th inning. Here comes Diego Cortez. You mentioned Diego Cortez and you kind of have a good relationship and talk a lot about the at-bats and the pitches.
Yeah, he definitely helps me out a lot, and then he'll come to me for help a little bit if he's struggling seeing the ball, just what his at-bat was. We help each other out a lot, not only in the outfield but at the plate.
First pitch swung and fouled out of play down the third base line, so it's 0-1. Actually charging that relentlessly was Justin Davis, the third baseman, but it was nowhere near a playable ball. It's funny, whoever was the left fielder, I think it was Matthew Reynoso yesterday when Jack Spahn hit the home run out of left field. He was running he was sprinting hard, and off the bat I thought it was gone. Cortez trying to bunt one for a hit, or maybe just for a sacrifice with 1 out, but it's foul, so it won't matter, and that'll be the second strike here. But he kind of fooled me, because when I was calling off the bat, I was like, wow, that has a chance. But then I see the guy sprinting, and I'm like, he must have it, under control, and then it goes out by about 10 to 15 feet out there in left field, and it's a grand slam, and obviously you guys ended up blowing out the Pirates 11-2 in that game.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I talked to Jack after he hit that grand slam, and he was unsure off the bat if he hit that too. He was taking the sprint down to first base, and he saw it go out there, and he just started jogging.
Snap throw down to first, not in time, as the pitch missed outside for a ball to Cortez. I really enjoyed actually being in your guys' dugout that one game where I was taking pictures and video. Kind of got to see a behind-the-scenes look at the Buccaneers.
It's a fun environment in there, that's for sure.
Swung on and missed, strike 3, down goes Cortez, and that is the second out of the inning. But I have to agree with you. You're talking about how you two talk about pitches, and that's something that I noticed a lot. You guys really trying to help each other out. And Nathaniel Acosta, he's almost like a player coach over there.
Yeah, that's actually what we call him a lot. We call him a player coach, and yeah, he definitely passes on a lot of his knowledge. He's been around the game for a little bit. I think he's going to be a junior in college this year. Not sure where he's going to play next year.
He's at University of Redlands in the SCIAC Conference. talented D3 conference. First pitch, fastball called strike, 0-1 the count here to Miles Ryan, who has reached base both times, singled in the first inning and walked in the fourth, and got as far as third base in the fourth inning after Luke Asperger sacrificed him over, and then Riley grounded out to the right side, but Johnny Juarez struck out looking, so they could not score Miles Ryan. This one swung and fouled straight back at the screen. And the on-deck batter, Asperger, will pick up the baseball. Of course, there are no bat boys here in the SCCBL.
No, we got to go get our own foul balls, hand them to the umpire. But yeah, that's also something Coach enforces a lot. He tells us just pick each other up, stay in the game, and stay focused, help each other out.
Alamilo fires, fastball swung and fouled off the catcher's left arm. That might be very painful for Humbert as he's kind of crouched over. And now he's probably going to have to walk it out. Seminaris was off with the pitch, but that makes sense with 2 strikes and 2 outs in an inning.
Mm-hmm.
And the Legends actually have a trainer, and she's going to come out and check the catcher here. Legends with a very thin bench today, if you look out over there. So very few possible replacements if one of the players gets injured here and can't continue. In fact, it looks like there might only be one guy on the bench other than the coach.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier, right before game time. I think they only had 9 right when we were about to start the game. I guess a couple guys showed up.
It's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's hard for them. I don't know if it's hard or not, but the game was originally obviously scheduled for Long Beach City College, so a bunch of guys thinking that probably they were going to stay home, and now they have to go all the way to Pomona, and I guess maybe just not wanting to make the trip.
Sure what happened with that schedule. Coach was saying something was going down earlier, and they wanted us to come out at 1:30, and he wasn't willing to make that trip early, so he wanted them to come out here and play at 5.
Yeah, I would have preferred the 1:30. I would have preferred to get the game done with earlier, to be honest. But Coach was saying that he didn't think that enough players would be able to play at 1:30 in Long Beach, so that's why the game ended up getting moved here at 5 o'clock. Here's the pitch. The runner is off, called strike 3. So it won't matter if they tag Seminaris out or not, because that is the 3rd out of the inning. As down goes Miles Ryan, and at the end of 6 innings of play, it remains scoreless. At Cal Poly Pomona between the Buccaneers and the Legends, you're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. There is a new pitcher in for the Buccaneers. That is Jacob Cage, who replaces Micah Byer. Micah Byer, in his 6 innings, had 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and most importantly, no hits allowed. As Bryce Brooks just kind of shakes his head, who is now joining us here. Bryce Brooks was trying to sell Kevin Bowler on allowing Micah Byer to continue.
Yeah, I was until I got kicked out of the dugout.
So you got relegated back to the broadcast. Here's the pitch from Cage. Fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner, and down goes Stefan Milinovic. And that is the first out here in the 7th inning for Jacob Cage, 6'2", 200-pound right-handed pitcher from Azusa Pacific. His major is in communications. Hometown Glendora. Went to Glendora High School and won a CIF title there. Also first team All-CIF. Breaking pitch in the dirt. And it's 1-0 here to Justin Davis. Davis is 0 for 2, grounded out to the shortstop Seminaris, and flew out to the center fielder Cortez. Swung on and missed, 1-1 the count. Cage has shown some very good stuff this season for the Buccaneers. Late kick, and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, way out in front of it again, and it's 1-2. It's interesting because Buccaneers usually start going to lots of changes in the 5th or 6th inning. This is the 7th inning, and there's very few changes. As I'm saying that, I see Michael Smith's out there. Ground ball to the left side, and that is going to get through. Actually, Seminaris made the backhanded catch, but it's not going to matter as the hitter will beat it out for the first base hit of the game for the Legends. So as we were mentioning, Michael Smith is now in at second base, and Asperger, who started at second, is now in right field, replacing Rabito. Also, Johnny Juarez, who started as the DH, is now the catcher in for Ryan. And those are the only changes that have been made by Kevin Bowler and the Buccaneers. First pitch is outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Manny De La Rosa. He's 0 for 1 and also walked back in the second inning.
Also, we have Rudy Cesares at third.
Oh, yeah, Rudy Casares is at third base. Thank you for that. As this one misses low for ball 2, 2-0 the count. So Casares in for Ramirez. Casares was hiding over there at the hot corner.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you don't normally look for him at third base. He's usually a middle infielder, as this one is called a strike at the knees. Although he did play at third base yesterday.
Yeah, and
after you came out. He moved from second to third, and then Michael Smith came in at second and actually inherited your account.
Yeah, I think he got hit in the same at bat I got hurt, right?
Yes, he did. He got hit in the head. That must have been weird, though, because he inherited a 2-strike count, I believe.
Yeah, 2 strikes.
High fly ball to deep center field. Diego Cortez on his horse. Will he be able to get to it? No, it's going to hop all the way to the wall. And the runner on first base, Justin Davis, had to hold up a bit because he thought that Cortez might have gotten to it, so he only gets third there. But it is a stand-up double for Manny De La Rosa. And all of a sudden, the Legends have 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. The Buccaneers going 6 1/3 innings before the Legends' first hit. And now all of a sudden, the Legends string together 2 hits in a row and now have a situation where if you hit a fly ball to the outfield, you will take the 1-0 lead. Here is Brian Schwartz. He's 0 for 1, struck out and also walked. The infield is in. Here's the pitch. And it misses inside for ball 1, 1-0 count. I hear you guys calling Seminaris Jeter every once in a while. Is there a reason for that other than the fact that he's a shortstop and wears number 2?
That's probably it.
He tried to make a Jeter-like play on that first hit, swung on and missed, except there was no way even Jeter could have made that play. It was hit in the left side hole, and it was very, very deep. Backhanded grab, and he jumped up like Jeter, but he just didn't throw it.
Would have been awesome if he'd have made that play. They called him that.
Cage fires. Fastball up the middle, line drive, base hit. In comes 1 run, and Chris Vopanek, the coach of the Legends, is waving home another run. The throw off the line, but the tag is made by Juarez on the left leg, says the home plate umpire. He's kind of motioning to the left leg, so it's 1-0, but they do throw the runner out at the plate, but the Legends lead here on the RBI single by Schwartz.
I believe that's our first outfield assist of the year.
So nice play made by Diego Cortez. We could check the stats later, but that was obviously a nice play for Cortez, who charged it and fired home. First pitch is, I believe it was swung on. It gets by Johnny Juarez. It was a bouncer in the dirt about a couple of feet in front of home plate, and I believe the home plate umpire just said he didn't go, which to me it looked like he really went. But it doesn't matter. The runner advances over to second base on the wild pitch, and then I guess it's now 1-0 here to Michael Agramonte, the designated hitter for the Legends. Here's a pitch from Cage, and it misses low for ball, so it's 2-0. It's going to be really important to see how the Buccaneers respond to giving up this first run after not allowing a hit for 6 1/3 innings. This pitch is bounced foul down the first base line by Agramonte. Buccaneers taking 5 days off before playing here at 11 a.m. on Sunday against AOS Baseball. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for strike 2. So 2-strike count here to Agramonte. Then after that Sunday game, the Sunday game is a non-league game, obviously, against AOS, trying to just get the team back in gear, see a few pitches before they go out to Palm Springs for a huge 2-game swing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Kevin Bowler coming out to talk to somebody. I'm not exactly sure what he was coming out for. But time was called for momentarily. And Casares was actually coming in. I'm not exactly sure why that was, but we're now resuming play with Cage on the mound. Working out of the stretch, a runner on second base, 1 run in the inning. This one is grounded to the left side, and Seminar is catching it deep in the hole, firing across his body sidearm, but not in time. It'll be another infield hit here for the Legends. Oh, he was arguing the first pitch that I said, I thought he went, and I said the home plate umpire motioned the safe sign, which means it was that the hitter didn't go. So Kevin Bowler was arguing that he thought that was strike 3, which now makes sense. Because when I saw it initially, I definitely thought he went. Here's the pitch from Cage. Called a strike, and it's 0-1 to Joshua Hornsby. Joshua Hornsby is 0 for 1, also walked back in the 5th inning. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, 1 in here in the 7th inning. Fouled, and it's 0-2. The runner on first base, Agramonte, was going on the pitch, trying to just take that extra base when you think that with the runner on third, Horace probably won't throw it down there. Here's the 0-2 offering. Swung on and bounced over to the second baseman on the 2-hop, who flips for the force out at second over to Seminars to finish this inning. But the damage was done. 1 run came in on 4 hits in the inning. And the Legends take a 1-0 lead, and it's now time to stretch here at Cal Poly Pomona. And welcome back to Scalino's Field. Dave Soberi on the play-by-play, being joined by Bryce Brooks, a member of the Buccaneers who was injured today, so can't play. Fastball in there, called strike 1 to Luke Asperger, and it's 0-1. Well, there were no runs for the first 6 innings of this game. Before the last half inning, Micah Byer went 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, no hits, and then was replaced for Jacob Cage, who came in and gave up that first run in the last inning. That's where we stand, 1-0 to score here in the bottom of the 7th. As this off-speed pitch missed, then it's 1-1 here to Luke Asperger. Very good spot in the lineup, though, if you want to get some runs if you're the Buccaneers. 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. And this one misses high and inside, and it's 2-1. So that is Asperger, Riley, and Juarez. And then Jack Spahn in the number 5 spot, should anybody get on base. So you figure this is really an inning you want to take advantage of if you're the Buccaneers. Swung on and missed, 2-2 the count. Luke Asperger, 6'0", 190 from Stanford University. Going to try to walk on to the team next year. Played for the club team this past season. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled straight back at the screen, and we'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch to come. 6th pitch of the at-bat for Asperger. You guys have a few players on this team who have actually won CIF championships. Asperger is another one who did it at Polytechnic High School. Here's the pitch, and this one misses outside. Ball 3, 3-2 the count. So big payoff pitch to come for Luke Asperger. Anytime you can get that leadoff man on base, the numbers usually go up astronomically in terms of being able to score at least 1 run in that inning, but the Buccaneers will not get that luxury as Asperger swings and misses, and down he goes. That's actually 3 consecutive strikeouts for George Alamilo, the Legends pitcher, who continues to pitch well for them. Wondering if he might even go the distance. This is the 7th inning. Nobody loosening up down the third base line in the pen right now. First pitch is an off-speed pitch in the dirt for ball 1 to Kevin Riley. 1-0 the count to Kevin. Seems like there's been a lot more chatter in the dugout as well over the last week or so.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of that comes from Coach, too, telling us to pick each other up, be awake in the dugout, not be all quiet.
This one missed for a ball 2-0 the count. So with Kevin Riley at the plate and a 2-0 count, you got to like this if you're a Buccaneer fan. A guy who has been on an absolute tear over the last 10 days. Actually was showing bunt, and it's called a strike, and it's 2-1. Maybe he was just trying to kind of get in the pitcher's head a little bit. In a situation like this where I know Mbusi was saying at the beginning of the game that he only saw 9 players, it looks like they might have 10 here now. This one's lined into left center field for another base hit. Surprise, surprise, Kevin Riley on base with a hit here. But as I was just saying, something that you want to probably do when you see kind of a depleted bench, and it just depleted in terms of the guys in the dugout, not necessarily the guys on the field, because obviously they're a good team. But something that you want to do is you want to take the pitcher deep in counts and try to extend him and kind of wear him down, because who knows what their next guy could be.
Yeah, you want to get into that bullpen.
Fastball swung on and lifted into deep right center field. The catch will be made, though. It's a routine play out there for Miladinovich, and that's the second out of the inning. Well, we don't have the stats on hitting streaks, but I would have to imagine that Kevin Riley has a pretty good hitting streak going.
That kid's on fire. I believe he hasn't gotten cheated at an at-bat all week for the hitting streak that he's on, or the 12 for 23 that he's been with. Even on his strikeouts, he's swinging through the ball hard. He's not check swinging or anything.
Off-speed pitch in at the knees on the outside corner. Called strike 1 to Jack Spahn. What do you mean when you say he hasn't gotten cheated out of an at-bat?
Like usually check swing, or he's taking he hits an off-speed pitch and he's out in front. Every ball I see, like his last at-bat hit that curveball up the middle, and it was a line drive. He hasn't been doing no rollovers lately for him. Even on his second at-bat thing in the game, he hit a hard ground ball to second base, and it was still squared up, even though he was still getting out.
This was a foul ball by Jack Spahn, who now falls in a hole on a 2-strike pitch. Rudy Casares is on deck, who replaced Anthony Rubito in the field. Actually, he came in to third base, so he just replaced him in the lineup. They had a triple shift, I guess, as this one is swung on and missed by Jack Spahn, and that is another strikeout. So the side is retired here in the 7th inning. The score remains 1-0. Legends on top of the Bucs. We'll head to the top of the 8th. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. Welcome back as we head to the top of the 8th inning. 1-0 the score. Legends on top of the Bucs. Legends got their only run and the only run of the game in the 7th inning. First pitch is a fastball swung on and bounced foul into the third base dugout by Tanner Negretti, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and also reached on a walk. Was picked off at second base by Miles Ryan. Threw out a couple base runners in this game. Looking kind of like Christian Kelly, the talented catcher for the Pirates. This one is lined into center field, right back at Diego Cortez, who makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
That's exactly what I was thinking earlier when he threw him out at second. With being able to play with Kelly last year, he has I feel like Miles' arm strength can compete with Kelly's. But Kelly just, I don't know, his arm's amazing. He can throw anyone out anywhere, any bag.
Yeah, Christian Kelly really takes it to the next level behind home plate. I mean, he is one of the best catchers I think I've seen, as this one is called a strike and it's 0-1. I mean, he is certainly the best catcher you will see out in the summer collegiate baseball leagues in California, behind home plate, defensively. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Way out in front of that was the leadoff hitter, Jake Reinhardt. Reinhardt's actually a guy who is coming back from an injury. He suffered a broken vertebrae, so he was out for 14 months. Here's the pitch. Had 10 months of rehab and finally got to play for Long Beach City College as a freshman this past season. By the end of the year, he was a starter for them, and here he is with the Long Beach Legends. But he takes this one on the inside corner, called strike 3, and down he goes. I actually had the chance to talk to him on Sunday, when I was doing the OCCL All-Star game. Says a lot about him to just want to get back into baseball after suffering such a, even, definitely career-threatening, but almost even life-threatening injury.
Yeah.
As this one's in the dirt for a ball, and it's now 1-0 to Greg Humbert. Humbert is 0 for 3, grounded out once and flew out to the outfield twice. This one misses low for ball 2. 2-0 the count here for Jacob Cage. Probably figured to see Jacob Cage finish this one out. Came in the 7th to relieve Micah Byer. Byer had not allowed a hit in his 6 innings. This one is lined into left field for a base hit for Greg Humbert. And the Legends have a 2-out hit here. And up comes Stefan Mladenovic, the number 3 hitter. He's 0 for 3. A couple of flyouts to the shortstop, Seminaris, and 1 strikeout looking. And we're going to get a pinch runner. Reason we'll get a pinch runner in a non-league game is because Greg Humbert is the catcher, so you can kind of just have a little free substitution there and get pinch runner in, as he's going to have to put on his catching gear. This one's grounded over towards the shortstop, who misplays it. That was actually Michael Smith at shortstop on that play, and Seminaris was at second. So an error there, and there's now 2 men on base here for the Legends. I just noticed that. They must have shifted positions in this inning.
They rotate every inning, I believe they'll rotate.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they've been doing lately. When these two have been up the middle, they'll rotate each inning.
Because Seminaris is usually always at short, and Smith is usually always at second. But I guess that's a new thing. They switch every inning. This is definitely the first time I noticed them doing that, but maybe they did that yesterday. Here comes Justin Davis. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored the only run of the ball game back in the 7th inning. Breaking pitch in the dirt. Blocked by Juarez, and it's 1-0. That's something that's plagued the Buccaneers a little bit in the season, earlier definitely in the season. Kind of errors where you could have gotten out of innings, and then it seems like the wheels kind of fall off the wagon, so to speak. This one's chopped to the left side, deep in the hole. Smith goes and fires across to the first baseman, but not in time, so that's going to be an infield base hit here, and now the bases are loaded for the Legends. We were talking about it, me and Kevin Bowler, before the game, and we're thinking this is a team that's 3-9, and I was saying, honestly, there's still a chance to finish in third. You have to win out, and you need Team San Diego to lose out, both of which are obviously possible, especially Team San Diego losing out because they have to play the Power and Pirates only. But you guys obviously still have a couple with the Power and a couple with the Heat, as this is called a strike. And it's 0-1 here to Manny De La Rosa. But what we're talking about is with the 3-9 record, if you think about it, there's 3 games that could have gone the opposite way that you could have won. It's game 2 out in San Diego, and a game that ended up in 13 innings you guys lost, called a strike here in its own 2. And I know there were lots of pass balls and wild pitches that ended up costing the Buccaneers in that game. Then there was also the game here against the High Desert Heat, the first game in league play, where they scored 5 runs after an error, so all 5 runs were unearned. And the Bucs ended up losing 5-4 in that game. And then there was the first game with Power, where the Bucs were leading 3-1 after 6 and I believe 3-2 after 7.
Yeah. Those errors and pass balls have killed a lot of our games this year.
Bases remain loaded. 2-strike pitch from Cage, and this one is bounced foul over towards the first base dugout. And the player coach, Nathaniel Acosta, over there with a clipboard.
The game in Palm Springs, we were up 3-1. I believe we had an error at short, and then another. They hit a ball in the 5-6 hole, and then we ended up pass ball. Then we hit the batter, and the next guy hit a 2-out double down the line, and they took the lead.
Slicing fly ball down the left field line, foul. Out of the reach of the left fielder, Richie Chavez. So we'll do it again, another 2-strike pitch to come with the bases loaded here for the Legends. Jacob Cage really trying to get out of this jam. If you can get out of it, it's still just a one-run game with 2 more at-bats for the Bucs. Of course, the Legends hoping to break this one open with a base hit here. Here's the pitch from Cage. Fastball called, strike 3, and down goes the hitter, Manny De La Rosa, and the jam is avoided here by Cage just narrowly as he leaves the bases loaded. But we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The score is still 1-0. Buccaneers are trailing the Legends, and you're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. We'll head back to Scalinos Field on the campus of Cal Poly Pomona for a 1-0 game. Legends on top of the Buccaneers. George Alamilo has been lifted for the new pitcher, Justin Davis. Justin Davis actually started the game at third base. First pitch misses low for ball 1 here to hitter Rudy Casares, who came in the middle of this game at third base. Called strike, and it's 1-1 here to Rudy. Rudy Casares was another guy who definitely had a really good game yesterday. Scored 3 runs and had 1 RBI. This pitch, though, is on the outside corner. Called strike 2, and it's 1-2 to Rudy. Rudy 5'10", 185. Redshirt freshman at Cal State San Bernardino. Majors in kinesiology. This one's outside, and it's 2-2. On deck is Richie Chavez. In the hole is Michael Smith. Here's the pitch from Davis. Ooh, nice breaking pitch that froze the hitter. And down goes Casares on the strikeout. Here's Richie Chavez. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. So he's hoping to just kind of get bat on ball here and put it in play. On deck, as we mentioned before, is Michael Smith. Swings at this one, and it's a fly ball into very shallow left field, about 2 feet deep on the outfield grass. And the catch is made by the shortstop Negretti for the second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down here as Michael Smith comes to the plate for his first at-bat. Well, if you're the Buccaneers, obviously you would want a 2-out rally to score a run here, but maybe you're also thinking that you just want a walk or a hit or something to kind of turn the lineup over more to the top of the lineup. The first pitch misses low and away. You're at the number 8 spot in the lineup right now. They're hitting 10. So if you could kind of get a couple guys on base here and start with the top of the lineup in the 9th, that would be good for the Buccaneers. Obviously, you don't want to give anything up, though, here in the 8th. Can still get a 2-out rally here, as this one missed tying into Michael Smith. Smith, the youngest of 5. His 4 older siblings all playing collegiate athletics. Called strike on the outside corner. His 2 sisters playing soccer at Oklahoma State. And his 2 brothers playing collegiate baseball, which obviously I'm sure he aspires to do. Here's the pitch. Swung and fouled straight back. Mention if you hear that loud bang, it's because there's about 3 feet of wood, and then there's the fence above it. Shade's starting to set in on the right side of the field. Shade will come from the dormitories out there in right field, as well as the clubhouse right behind the first base dugout. Davis comes set, fires, breaking pitch that misses high for a ball to Michael Smith. So Michael Smith fighting back in this at-bat.
I don't think Michael's going to want to go home after this weather.
It is great weather, but he swings and misses at this one, and down he goes. And that'll do it for the Buccaneers here in the 8th inning, as Michael Smith is clearly dejected, kind of slamming his bat against the ground as he walks back to the dugout. So that's the end of the 8th inning, and it remains 1-0. The Legends are on top of the Buccaneers. We'll head to the top of the 9th when we come back. And welcome back as we head to the top of the ninth inning. First pitch is swung on and missed as Jacob Cage remains on the bump for the Buccaneers. Bucks trailing 1-0. Baron Schwartz at the plate. He is 1 for 2, but his one hit was a big hit for the Legends. It was an RBI single. He's now fallen behind 0-2 on this at bat. The only RBI of the game because it's only runs scored in the game. Back in the 7th inning off of Jacob Cage. Swings and misses at this one, though, and he goes down on 3 strikes. So that'll be the first out here for the Buccaneers. Well, the last time these two teams got together, if you're thinking about this, it ended in a walk-off RBI hit by Nathaniel Acosta. First pitch is fouled back by Michael Agramente, and it's 0-1 to him. He's 1 for 3.
We're going to have to do something similar today if we're going to try to come out on the winning end of this one.
Definitely would have to do something similar to that as the Buccaneers are trailing. Nice breaking pitch in there for strike 2 and it's 0-2. So for the second consecutive batter in this inning, Cage gets ahead 0-2. Nods his head in approval of Johnny Juarez's signs and fires. He appealed down to first base. It's called a strike, or he's called that he swung, I should say, and that'll be the second strikeout of the inning and the third strikeout in a row for Jacob Cage. Here comes Joshua Hornsby. He is 0 for 2, reached on a walk and was caught stealing back in the 5th inning. Cage fires a breaking pitch in the dirt for ball 1, 1-0 count. Hey, you don't see the umpire throw the ball back to the pitcher too often.
I definitely haven't seen it a lot today either. Solid throw from him back there.
Fastball fouled into the mid of Juarez, and it's 1-1. Juarez was looking for the ball, and it was already at the pitcher, Jacob Cage. Here comes the 1-1 offering. Fastball swung on and bounced in the left side. Nice backhand grab by Michael Smith, and the throw cannot be completed as it came off the bag. Jack Spahn trying to backhand it, but couldn't make the catch. Good job by Johnny Juarez backing it up. The catcher running well down the line to get to the ball and making sure the runner did not advance further. That was kind of a tweener in the sense that it's kind of a tweener between a hit and an error. It was actually a very, very good play made by Smith to go deep in the hole and make the backhanded catch. But when he threw it, if he had made the throw to Spahn, they definitely would have retired the hitter. As this one misses low and away. Of course, obviously, Michael Smith being rushed on the play because he did go deep in the hole and backhanded it. Had to come up throwing hard. Another breaking pitch. Jacob Cage, he has a lot of movement on that breaking pitch. Really seems to bend a lot for number 9. Here's the pitch from Cage. Fastball swung on and missed for strike 2. The Buccaneers obviously are going to have a rally in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing 1-0 as this breaking pitch misses low for a ball from Jacob Cage. In the 9th inning, if you're wondering, it's Anthony Seminaris, Diego Cortez, and a pinch hitter because Miles Ryan came out of the game. So I don't know who will be in Ryan's spot because Juarez, who's catching now, was actually in the lineup as a designated hitter. Line drive over to the right side, and Anthony Seminaris, he catches it on the one hop and flips it the short way to second base to retire Negretti. And that'll do it for the top half of the 9th inning. At the end of 8.5, the score remains 1-0. The Legends are leading the Buccaneers. We'll come back for the bottom of the 9th in just a few moments. Welcome back. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 1-0 the score. Legends on top of the Buccaneers. Buccaneers hoping for some late inning heroics like they had last time they played their Legends. But the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner called a strike. to Anthony Seminaris. So it's 0-1 here to Seminaris. Seminaris is 1 for 1, singled in the third and also walked in the sixth. So he has reached base both times today. Calls for time at the plate and now steps out of the batter's box. Seminaris is one of the guys who I think really has one of the bigger personalities on the team.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a fun guy to be around. Makes the game a lot more fun being out here every day.
Here's the pitch. Fastball outside and low for a ball.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys on this team like that. They just make it so much more fun being out here playing baseball.
Seems like the Bucs are definitely starting to gel a bit more here over the last few days as this one misses low and away. I know that was something that, for the Pirates, they are a team that have really been together for a long time. I mean, first of all, this is their second season as opposed to this being the first season for the Buccaneers, and this one misses low and inside for ball 3. But secondly, there were a lot of guys that played together in Connie Mack even before they were Pirates. And you guys, obviously it takes some time to kind of get used to everybody and to know what each other can do on the field. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 4. 5-pitch walk drawn by Seminaris, and the leadoff man's on base here in the 9th inning. Obviously, that is a good way to start the 9th with your leadoff man getting on base. And that's pretty much all you can ask for. You have the game-tying run now on base, and anything can happen from here. Time is called for by the catcher Humbert, who comes out to meet his pitcher Justin Davis. And up comes Diego Cortez. Diego Cortez is 0 for 2. Grounded out into a double play and also struck out. If you remember, though, the ground out into the double play, he hit it really hard over to the second baseman. And the second baseman was covering second on the play, so he basically ran straight to where the ball was hit. Cortez sacrificing and gets it down to perfection. Seminaris advancing 90 feet in the scoring position. So that is a very, very quality at-bat right there for Cortez to get the job done. And let's see if the Buccaneers can manufacture a run here. They did the first part. You get the leadoff man on base, and then you get the sacrifice to accommodate it. And here comes Miles Ryan, so Ryan will bat in this spot. So I guess Ryan and Juarez just traded catching and DHing, which obviously you can do in a non-league game. Ryan with the open stance, the right-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher. First pitch he sees is a fastball called a strike and his own 1. Not sure if maybe he had the take on. In this situation, you see a lot of times teams will take first strike. But if he didn't have the take on, that looked like it was a good pitch to swing at. Acosta is on deck, so Acosta will bat for Asperger. Ryan checked his swing, and the second base umpire says yes, he did go, so it's now 0-2. Kevin Bowler could only kind of look down at the grass as to think of the one that he thought should have been called a strike earlier. Here's the 0-2. Low and away for ball. Really a good job by the catcher Humbert right there. I mean, if that gets by him, you have a runner on third base in the form of Anthony Seminaris, and then you have a tying run just 90 feet away. And at that point, you could get a sac fly into the outfield to tie it up, but that didn't happen. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and lined over to the left side, and the ball will get past the shortstop, and Ryan will beat it out. We'll call that an infield hit for Miles Ryan because it was a very tough play. It was in the hole, and Negretti was trying to basically charge and throw it sidearm, but before you can throw it, you need to catch it, and he couldn't make the catch. And now there's runners on the corners here with a 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Nathaniel Acosta at the plate, the man who walked off against this Legend team the first time the two teams played.
It's a very similar situation.
Certainly is. Only this time, as this pitch misses low and away for ball 1, this time he is looking to tie the game up at 1 apiece. It'll be interesting to see if the game ends 1-1 or if it is 1-1 after 9 innings, what they decide to do, if they decide to play a few more or if they finish it. This one's swung, lifted in the right field, and that must get the job done. It's a fly ball, and the basket catch is made. Coming home to score is Anthony Seminaris, and it's 1-1. The Buccaneers have tied it in the bottom of the 9th inning. on another Nathaniel Acosta RBI, something he did the first time these two teams played. We mentioned he had the game-winning RBI. This time in the 9th inning, he has the game-tying RBI, and it's 1-1 with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Wow. Here comes Kevin Riley, and this is the man you want at the plate to continue this rally. He takes high and tight for ball 1, 1-0 the count. But, I mean, honestly, if you could pick anybody on the Bucs to be up at bat right here, you would definitely pick this guy because he is the hitter of the week in the SCCBL. Hitting over 500 last week. Takes high and away for ball 2, 2-0 the count. Today he is 1 for 2. Singled in the 7th, grounded out in the 4th, and was hit by a pitch in his first at bat in the 1st inning. Also stole second. Fastball overthrown, and it's low and away, 3-0 the count.
And he's another guy on this team that you could take a lot of knowledge out of. Just going and asking him what he's looking for at the plate. He always has a nice approach. Just he always knows what he's looking for and just drives the ball well.
He seems like a quiet, shy type of guy, though.
Yeah, he is a little bit. When you get to know him, he gets a little more loose and just starts talking a little more, but he's a little shy, yeah.
Fastball right down Broadway. Taking all the way was Kevin Riley, and it's now 3-1. So this is a pitch where you can really sit dead red on fastball. 3-1 count. Let's see what happens. It is a fastball, and it's lined straight back at the pitcher, but the pitcher makes a nice catch and throws over to first base to get the out. And so now we're going to find out what we're going to do here. Both coaches are kind of asking each other what they're going to do. And it looks like we're going to get maybe one more inning. I don't know if he put his one finger up.
Looks like we're going one more.
So we're definitely getting one more, and we're going to head to the 10th inning. And Michael Smith, he's excited to go out there for the 10th because he is out there already as everybody else is getting ready for the next inning. So this is some extra innings here. This is the first time I got to see extra innings. I was not down there in San Diego when you had the game that got suspended due to darkness and then went to 13 innings.
Yeah, that was a rough one. We had to go out there, just have the same pitcher go out and throw the next day. That's rough after you just went the last inning of the game the day before. It's always rough on your arm.
That is pretty rough. I know a similar situation happened with the Heat when they played San Diego, and it's something that you kind of wish that you could avoid in the SCCBL season when you have teams going up to San Diego, or maybe I should say going down to San Diego and playing 2 doubleheaders in 2 days. It really kills your arms.
Yeah.
And so the Heat actually had a guy that pitched 150 pitches
wow.
in 2 days.
That's unreal, especially for summer ball.
Yeah.
Sure his college coach isn't going to be too happy about that outing.
No, not at all. I can't remember. I really think he was a Cal State San Bernardino guy. Do you know a guy named Kelly?
Kelly. We had a guy named Kerry Kelly. He was our ace. But
no, it's not. I'm sure it wasn't the ace of your team. Man, for some reason I thought maybe he plays for somebody like Cal State San Bernardino. But, yeah, that guy threw 150 pitches in 2 games in 2 days. That's the big thing. But anyways, we're going to the 10th inning here in a 1-1 game. The Bucs and Legends tied. It seems like we're just going to play one more because we mentioned that Kevin Bowler showed up his one finger. But let's see. I mean, if it's a quick inning, we still have time. We have probably a good 45 minutes of daylight left. We played pretty late yesterday, actually, against the Pirates and Buccaneers.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a little more tough as a hitter with the ball coming in the shade as the pitcher's in the sunlight.
How much does that affect you, actually? Yeah, the pitcher's in sunlight. The plate is in the shade.
It's definitely a big adjustment going from earlier in the game, seeing the ball, and then it's a little harder to pick up out of his hand as it comes into the shade.
Fastball in the outside corner, called strike 1, and it's 0-1 here. To the leadoff hitter in the lineup, Jake Reinhardt. Here's the pitch. Fastball in the outside corner, 0-2. Jacob Reinhardt didn't like that call. Kind of walking out of the batter's box, and now comes back in. Cage working on the windup, the right-handed pitcher. Here comes the pitch. Swan and foul back. And so we'll do it again. Another 0-2 pitch to come. Reinhardt is 0 for 3. lined out to the first baseman, sacrificed in the third, grounded out to the second baseman, and struck out in the eighth. Grounded out in the second baseman to the sixth inning. Swung on and lifted into center field. Diego Cortez starting back and has it under control for the first out. So down goes Jake Reinhardt here. So 1 up, 1 down here for Cage. Obviously both teams hoping to get the win here today, considering they both decided to go into extra innings. We had a game earlier in this season where the East LA Dodgers were playing the Pirates, and it was pretty much at this exact same time, right around 7:15, and East LA decided that they did not want to finish the game against the Pirates. This one swung on a high fly ball to left field, straightaway left field, and Richie Chavez camps underneath it and makes the catch for the second out. And so 2 up, 2 down here for Cage. And Stefan Milanovic comes up to the plate. He is 0 for 4, did reach on an error back in the 8th inning. Well, if you're thinking about it, the Bucs have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters up in the next inning. So a good part of the lineup to try to come through in the clutch, as this one misses low for a ball. 1-0 the count here to Milanovic. One 0 offering is low and away in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Acosta, who pinch hit in the last inning, has come in for Jack Spahn over at first base. This one is lined over to the shortstop, Michael Smith. Michael Smith fires the first, and that's another error on Smith that gets over the head of Acosta. Throw from the catcher down to second base. You can't say enough about the job Johnny Juarez is doing, hustling down that first base line and to back that up, but the runner still gets to second here after the error by the shortstop. So Milanovic is on second in scoring position after the first 2 hitters were retired. And now you have the cleanup hitter at the plate for the Legends. And the cleanup hitter, he is 2 for 4 today, scored the only run of the game for the Legends. And he also happens to be the pitcher as well at this moment. Started at third base, and his name's Justin Davis. I'm not sure if I said his name yet, but it's Justin Davis at the plate. So you got to figure he's probably one of the best players on the team if he's doing those types of things. This one misses low, and Cage quickly falls behind Davis. Cage checks the runner at second. No one really holding him on. This one is bounced to the left side over to Smith again. Smith fires across and makes the play this time. And that'll do it for the 10th inning and the top of the 10th. So we are through 9.5 innings of play now here. And the score remains 1-1. Buccaneers and Legends doing battle. You're listening on InlandValleyBaseball.com. And welcome back as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. First game on our broadcast that is in extra innings here. 4, 5, 6 in the lineup is where the Bucs are. The first pitch is chopped to the right side by Juarez. A nice pick, but the toss is not made over to the pitcher Davis. So Juarez reaches base there on the error by the first baseman. It was actually a really hard play to make. It was sort of almost a tweener, really, between an infield hit and an error. But I think definitely that would be scored an error on that play. But it was actually really just a nice play by the first baseman to pick it off the ground on the short hop. And he didn't have much time, actually, to throw Juarez out at first base. Juarez showing off some speed for a catcher.
Yeah, no, that's what happens a lot, though, too, as the first baseman went to go inside flip the ball to the first base, or to the pitcher. You really have no control when you do the inside flip. So, as you see right there, he threw the ball away as he tried to flip the ball like that.
Here's Jack Spahn. Spahn is 0 for 3. Let's see if he has another home run. No, he's not. He's sacrificing, and he fouls this one down the first base line, 0-1 the count. I was just about to say, let's see if he has the home run power again here for the second consecutive day. But this obviously is a sacrifice situation. You get your leadoff man on base, and you want to sacrifice him over, just like the Bucs did in the last inning, and ended up scoring a run. Can Spahn get it down? Well, this time the pitch misses high for ball one, and it's 1-1. I would really think about trying to, if you can control it, lay it down that first base line. Doesn't look like the first baseman, De La Rosa, is the most fleet of foot over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what he's trying to do. He kind of tried to do a push bunt almost to the first baseman, but it's foul, and so now it's 1-2. So the question is, do you try to still get the bunt down if you're Kevin Bowler? We've actually seen him do that a few times earlier in this season. Of course, if you foul off a two-strike pitch on a bunt, it's a strikeout. And he is squaring around again. So Jack Spahn is definitely going to have to get this ball down no matter what. Here's the 1-2. And he gets it down right to the pitcher. The pitcher loses it, though, and everybody's going to be safe. Wow, Justin Davis. We mentioned he's 2 for 4 at the plate. He's normally a third baseman. He's a really good fielder, too. He kind of thought that he kind of almost counted his chickens before they were hatched. You got to catch the ball before you can throw it down to second base.
Yeah, exactly. He tried to make the play happen before he had the ball in his glove.
So that is still going to be ruled a sacrifice bunt, but then error that allows Spahn to get to first. So kind of a weird thing there. As the first 2 men are on base for the Buccaneers here in the bottom of the 10th inning, Bucs hoping to win their 4th of the past 5 games they've played in, and feeling really good about themselves. You said, and Kevin Bowler said the goal was to get to 10 wins. They're at 6 right now. They would love to get one more right here today in the 10th inning. Scoring around again, and this one's high and in for ball 1. 1-0 count to Rudy Casares. So obviously, just try to sacrifice again. There's still no outs. You might as well get the runner over to third base.
Yeah, exactly. We need that runner to third.
Here's the pitch, and the bunt is laid down, and it's a fly ball caught by the catcher, who made a diving catch. Good job right there by Humbert, but that is obviously a ball that you have to get down as Casares kind of shakes his right hand as he walks back to the dugout. Well, that's tough because if you had sacrificed him over, you would have had a runner on third base. You would have had the go-ahead and the game-winning run at third with only 1 out. So you could have had another sacrifice fly to win the game. Now you're definitely going to need a hit. Unless there's a wild pitch or a pass ball. First pitch is in there on the outside corner for strike 1 to Richie Chavez, and it's 0-1 to number 24. He's 0 for 3 on the day, a couple strikeouts and a flyout to shortstop. On deck is Michael Smith. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined down the left field line, but foul. Chavez kind of reaching at the outside pitch and trying to punch it to the opposite field. We're about to see what Richie Chavez is made out of, and probably about to see what Michael Smith is made of as well. In a pressure situation, tied game, bottom of the 10th inning. Ground ball over to the shortstop. This might be a 6-4-3 inning double play, and yes, it is. So a ground ball right at the shortstop, and it looks like that might be it for the game. As that we have the 6-4-3 double play, and let's see. Yeah, it looks like Kevin Bowler and Chris Vopanik, the manager of the Legends, and Bucs will shake hands, so this will end up being a tie after 10 innings. Obviously, you never like having a tie, but there wasn't much daylight left. It's 7:27 Pacific time, and don't know if you have enough daylight left to get one more inning in. So the Bucs will tie here. Any thoughts about the game?
That was a tough loss. I mean, or tie.
Yeah,
We had multiple chances of winning, but couldn't capitalize.
and unfortunately, that's been kind of something that's plagued you all season long, really. I mean, you've had opportunities for the most part against some of the best teams and just can't string together the hits. And obviously, not being able to get that sacrifice bunt down and get the guy at third base was a big thing right there, because if you had the guy sacrificed over and that ground ball hit to the shortstop, well, they might still make the play at home, but there's a play at the plate and you might have the potential to score on that, but nonetheless, it remains a 1-1 tie after 10. The game is over, so that'll do it for this game. The next game that we are broadcasting on InlandValleyBaseball.com will be the Pirates against the High Desert Heat tomorrow. It's a doubleheader starting at 2 o'clock. First game is at 2, and then the second game will be 30 minutes after in a SCCBL matchup. Both of them, obviously, SCCBL matchups. Adam Quintana will be on the mound for the Heat, the SCCBL Pitcher of the Year in 2012, and on the mound, we assume, for the Pirates will be Andrew Alvarez. So we're going to see two of the best pitchers in the league in Game 1 of that doubleheader tomorrow. Then both teams will be off for a few days, and that's for, obviously, 4th of July. We'll be back here at 11 a.m. on Sunday for a Buccaneers game against AOS Baseball. And the Pirates, they have a lot of games off because they were supposed to have a game on Monday, but they do not have a game on that Monday anymore. That game was canceled. So those are the next couple games off the top of my head that I can think of before we sign off. And once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow for the 2 o'clock Pirates and Heat game.